Welcome to the Be More Happy Show. I'm your host, Morris Chasson, confidence coach for bold introverts. I help introverts overcome fear and maximize their performance so they can excel and extrovert their careers, feeling good about themselves. On this episode, I had a great honor to host my friend Candace and Brad. I've been seeing this couple at the gym for the last 5 years or so, and every time we talk, we have like amazing conversations. So to get them to be on my podcast was such a big honor for me. And then they invited me to the venue, which is like the best wedding venue you ever go to, at least in Louisiana. It's incredible. Anyways, on this episode, we talk a little bit about mindset stuff. We talk a little bit about business, kind of mindset it takes to actually help that business to grow and scale. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this episode. Here we go with Miss Candace.
When I was in 5th grade, I knew that I wanted to start a cheer gym. It was crazy. I did a project in 5th grade, and that was it. It was an outline on a business for a cheerleading gym. Knew I wanted to do that, and then at 24, I finally did it with my parents' help and stuff like that. So we've been open 10 years, and it has grown. When I met Brad, we met, and then he had businesses, so we kind of integrated that, and then we built a new gym. So we got to, my business scaled times 3 after we built the new gym.
Really?
So, yeah.
What was the location or?
Location, I only had one mat, so like one full floor. It's not just one mat, one full floor, which is big. We got to go to 2 and have a spring floor, 2 spring floors and a trampoline foam pit. So then birthday parties got brought in. Double the space.
Double the space.
Yeah, mainly.
Able to make more classes in there.
Yeah, multiple classes. We have sometimes 8 classes going off, like 80 kids at 1 hour.
God.
Yeah, it's really busy, and then 9 to 10 birthday parties every weekend.
Dang.
It's lots of fun.
What was really good about it is she was in the business, I was in real estate, like a service-based business, real estate, and then we came together, we got married, and we kind of brought our minds together. Like she needed to scale because she was outgrowing her other building, and I knew about real estate on a building and and the numbers and stuff like that. And we came together, built the gym. We hacked the gym. Like our house is in the gym, a 2-story house inside the gym. So the business pays for the house, so we don't have 2 separate nodes. Kind of like playing it smart with that. So.
Okay, so Brad has always wanted to live in a metal building home. Okay, and when he met me, I lived inside the gym, which was a metal building, my first one. And he lived in his other side of his duplex, so one rental was paying for his note on his house. I was kind of doing the same thing. So he always wanted a metal building home.
Before we even knew each other.
Yes, but he would say this. But he wanted to walk out and see his cars and his toys and everything. He didn't know that it was going to be a cheer gym instead of all of his cars,
But I'd much rather that.
4-wheelers. So,
It's a much better investment for a business to look out there and see a business and see cars.
So
Yeah, absolutely. That is true.
his plan changed a little bit. And then, so a year later, we got married, and then I told him, build me a wedding venue. I'll book it out. That was the thing. Because I did like flowers, cake. We went to Nashville. Couldn't find anything like this around here, so we did a small, intimate wedding in Nashville. I was afraid to get any vendors because...
In front of an old barn.
Yeah, old barn. I was afraid. I was like, it was so quick that we got married to not interfere with cheer competition. We were like, no, we got to do it now. I didn't want to do cake over there, not meeting them. So I did it. I did the cake, flowers, all of it, set up, I don't even think I was stressed. It was just a happy day. So I'm like, build me a wedding venue, Brad. Like, I can do this. Like, I'll book it out. So
that's when y'all decided to do it?
Yeah, that
Really?
was it.
That was inspiration.
That's incredible, man.
So then this land it's not even a mile away from our house. So, and the gym. So then we bought this land, 10 acres, and then found out that was a pond. So it was another 12 acres with the pond, so we bought that and we just continued. We're almost at 60 now, right?
Over 60.
Over 60, and then we built the venue within a year and all of the buildings on this land. So
Really?
Yes.
And the land was total.
With a 1-year-old.
It was 10-foot weeds and.
And you do a bunch of stuff yourself, right, Brian?
Yeah.
So all this I did was I made it look like this. It looked like a jungle out here. The pond you couldn't even see. It looked like you could walk across it. It had so much vegetation and stuff. So I used the excavator for days, weeks, getting that out, cleaning that out, shaping it a little better, and cutting grass, chopping it up, leveling the land.
I think that's incredible that you do a bunch of that stuff yourself. Like whenever you said you did the floors here,
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy. Like,
Figure
but
it out.
it's good, man. You know, because you learn more.
Yep.
You're just more.
Research. Make it happen.
I figure if somebody else could do it, I could figure out how to do it. So
Yeah,
it's kind of my mindset with a lot of things.
that is so true.
And we never hold each other back. Like if we're wanting to do it, like we're supporting each other the
That's
whole
good.
way through. You know, we're
Yeah,
not
it's a
like
key,
you can't
for
do
sure.
that. Like I'm like, we're doing it. All right, we're doing it, and we're doing it as a team. Most of the time, a family, because the kids are running around trying to help too. So it's
That's
a whole
good,
entire
though.
like
That's-
family.
That's good. That's the unit. You know,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's how.
Hopefully, rub off on them,
Yeah,
show them what we do, and they could take it even subconsciously into their life.
dude, they're gonna be entrepreneurs at like 12.
We hope.
We hope so.
You
we
never
hope to
know.
have some good mindsets for sure. And
Yeah.
that's what I try to instill in them.
With this roadcaster thing that you bought, you know,
Yeah.
you never know, the kids might become like podcast celebrities for this
They
thing.
like it.
And I think
A lot of time.
that's what separates you guys from normal people.
Yes, and we've had
Because normal people won't do it, you know what I mean? They'll think about it, and that idea of it sounds amazing and stuff, but
And a lot of people are like, gosh, you got so lucky. It's not luck.
Oh yeah.
It's not luck at all. It's a lot of hard work. And they're like, oh, it just happened so easy and it was so fast. Within a year, you had all this done. It was a lot of no's, and he doesn't take no for an
There's
answer.
a lot that goes
Yeah.
into things. People see the end result and they think that it's so easy
Yeah.
to say, gosh, they're so lucky, but they didn't see all the struggles and the disappointment and
Yep.
the finding solutions to every single problem that you could think of and the adversity that comes along with it, for sure.
that is so true, man. They'll see that end result, but that whole work, that whole journey of getting there,
It's just like almost my whole, I've worked out since I was 13 in my room. I had people, as I got bigger and bigger, they see, years in, I had a decent build, and they see what it is, and they think I'm on steroids, and I've never done a steroid in my life.
dude, I've always thought you was on steroids. But then
A
I
lot of
remember-
people say that, and they're like, yeah, this person asked me if you're on steroids and what I was doing. I was like, I've never touched a steroid in my life. You could test me for anything you want. I'll go to the doctor to get checkups, and my testosterone was at a normal level. There's no testosterone that's 1,500 or whatever these
Yeah.
people are even doing. But
I remember even asking somebody, that dude's on steroids.
there you go. You're one of them.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, no, bro, that dude's always big. Like we went to school together,
Yeah.
he was big like that in school,
Yeah.
He was just always a big guy. And I was like, dude, that's crazy.
But that's very relatable to, success in business too. People see you have a business or a couple businesses or rental properties, and they think that it just happened.
Yep.
You gotta work for it.
Yeah, it's just like working out.
Big time.
It's-
The rent's due. Once
Yeah.
you get there, you maintain it. It's a lot easier. But getting there is, you got to constantly put in the work.
It's the steps to get there, and it's the journey that makes it so much better, because you learn so much through that adversity of,
Yeah, the
bullshit that
destination.
you gotta.
The destination itself didn't teach you anything. It's the journey that taught you everything you needed to know to get there.
That's so true.
Brad's regimented. He's like,
Yes.
he wakes up in the morning, his clothes is already laid out. He goes vitamins, he goes coffee or whatever, and then gym. That's his morning, and that's his morning
Every
every
day.
morning.
I do have a regimen.
He's very big into
I'm regimented.
that. I try, but I'm not that way at all. I'm more like, relax,
I find to reach my goals, I have to have daily habits that align with my goals. So if I'm doing something that's not aligned with it, then what am I doing it for, or why am
You want to make sure
Yeah.
you start.
and controlling your mind, because you're not going to always feel like doing it, but you just let your mind know I'm the boss and this is how it's going to happen. You don't give it a choice, and then it's almost like a battle of minds. It's like your mind and what you feel like doing, your comfort. You're able to overcome that over and over and do what you're supposed to do instead of what you feel like doing. That makes a huge difference.
It's doing the shit that you don't want to do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
But
what
you
And
sets
have
do
to
it
do
anyway.
it.
Yeah.
Most people don't do it.
And-
So
and-
they stay in the same spot. You
And
have
that's
to do
why-
things you don't want to do to.
Like this
Actually,
podcast,
we're
I'm not
going-
comfortable doing this. I'm doing it.
And it's cool.
And the more I do it, the more comfortable I'll get. So-
Yeah.
And I know that. It's from the things I've put myself through in life.
And it's cool that you're going to be having your own podcast there pretty soon, right?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Work it out.
Yeah.
It ain't like the modern school system where they got these professors teaching business and they've never had a business or started a business.
Yeah.
Man,
Why are they giving us this advice?
that is so true, right?
I'm like, what is going on here? But it's a money. I mean, I have some controversial takes on schooling, but
Me too. Look, my wife she came across this thing the other day on TikTok. It was a test from NASA, apparently. They tested, I think, 20, 30 some people, whatever, at 5 years old for genius level. At 5 years old, 98% of the people were considered genius based off their creativity.
sure.
By the time they got to 10, I think it was like 30% or some shit like that. Whenever they got to like 18 or 20, I think it was like 5%, some shit like that.
Yeah, the school system boxes your mind into conformity.
Yeah,
It's just a conformist tool, I feel like almost.
yeah, it is,
But I
unfortunately.
mean, at a large scale, I can understand that you can't let the kids run around, be crazy, be themselves like 24/7. They should have a curriculum that's more suited towards their personality or more towards their strengths, or being a child instead of locking them in a classroom and telling them to shut up and listen.
And
Not really the greatest way to learn. It hasn't evolved since the beginning of time. So, like, come on. Let's
yeah,
go.
since the early 1900s.
What do I know?
No, it's true. It's 100% true. And I think more and more people are starting to see that, you know, and I think that's why I think they have shortages with teachers all over the
Yeah.
United States right now, because they're probably seeing that that is bullshit too, you know. I mean, it's good. Education is good,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
great.
it shouldn't be the same thing for everybody. You know, it's got to be
It's hard to.
different.
It is hard to do. I mean, yeah, at a large scale, it's hard to individualize You don't have a limited amount of time, but there are better ways. I know there has to be better ways. I'm not in the education system, but
You know,
how crazy the kids are when they leave school? I get them after.
they wild.
They
They play
come
one of
to-
those toys.
full of energy.
They come to cheer and tumbling like full energy. You can tell when they have to be really quiet or testing days. You're like, wow.
Full of
It's
energy.
fun.
Huh?
You know, we have to let them talk and, get it out. But at the same time, they should be able to do that all day. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have spurts for recess or, let them run it out because we get it.
No homework.
We get the crazy ones at the end of the day, which we like their little personalities, but
Yeah.
sometimes hard to learn when they've been boxed up all day.
Feel bad for those kids that, I don't know, they just got so much energy and they're always in trouble because they talk in the cafeteria or they're talking.
And it makes them feel bad about themselves. Yeah, because
They feel
like,
bad.
you're bad. Over, just because they have so much pent up energy
And it messes them up in the long run because in their mind they think that they're not good. You know what I
have a
mean?
lot of negative talk internally too, because they hear it externally all the time.
Don't start it. He has a lot of views on everything.
Some of them are controversial, but
Yes.
we'll try to keep it nice.
Controversial is good.
Yeah, I know.
We like controversy.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Make people think.
you push through the society is go to college, get a good job. It's kind of the old way of thinking. I think it's starting to evolve a little more, but I felt pressure from my family
Yeah, we both
to go to
did.
college, and I didn't finish college, honestly. It
We're
was
both
just,
college dropouts.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the success.
Yes.
Right?
Both.
Like it goes to show you that you don't really need that degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna ask you a question. You work with people, trying to inspire them or whatever. What do you find the most people have struggle with? Like in what areas?
Believe.
Like
Believe in
just
themselves.
self-belief.
A lot of doubt.
Where you think the doubt comes from? I'm sorry to.
No, conditioning, like just from the childhood or from a past relationship that somebody told them that they weren't good enough or they
It became in their heads.
and then
That's
they
how they
just,
believe themselves. Yeah.
it's basic, the way I look at it is like a program because,
So you have to rewire their brain. That's kind of your goal.
yeah, absolutely. Just to
Mindset.
change it from that negative to the positive,
That's
I mean,
important. Mindset is everything.
like you said earlier about doing shit that you don't want to do. It's almost the same thing with the mindset, like you'll think that negative thought, but if you could just switch to that positive
You
thought,
replace it.
like that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just changing it, you know? And the more and more you do it, just like an instrument or anything that you learn,
it becomes a habit. Yeah, even your thought patterns, how you react to things, everything is a habit. If you think of it like that, then you could change it. If you think someone has a crutch, like I have a disease, like I'm in a full state of depression all the time, instead of it being like just a momentary state, then you're in control and you know that you can control it and you can change it. But if you let something have power over you, then you're not really in control of your life or your mind. So
that is,
I think you should adopt beliefs and systems in your life to hold yourself accountable, like self-accountability. Like
I think I let like the competitiveness of me not allow myself, because if I see somebody else that can do it, I know I can do it. Like it just pumps me up.
There's no
It
limits.
like pushes me.
Yeah.
It's like why can they do it and I can't?
Yeah.
I'm going out there, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna do it.
And I'm gonna try to be better.
Absolutely.
Try to make sure, put steps in place.
And that has a lot to do with, I think, your like when a person's like that, it has a lot to do with like duty to themselves, or like how they hold themselves in their mind. They want to live up to their standard. They have a high standard for themselves, so they want to meet that standard. And if they don't, they're disappointed. So like they're constantly striving for better. And some people struggle with that, I think.
Like I always thought as competitiveness as a bad thing, but whenever you look at it that way,
everything's perspective.
I love that, because you always have that belief and you always know that you could do better.
It's the confidence in yourself to know that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take second. Just Monty, I can do this. You just gotta push yourself.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be the best.
Yeah, you have
That's
to
like the
think
best
that
damn
way.
venue right here at the Robinson Ranch.
There you go.
This
You
is
got
the shit right here. Like this place is amazing.
Thank you.
Everything about it, the pond in the back, the groom's room, like it's phenomenal.
Try to think of as many things as we could to accommodate, to set it apart.
Definitely.
And we're constantly trying to evolve it to compete with ourselves more than anything. We don't really go out in there and look what other people have. We kind of think what we need to do to make this place better over and over and over. So we do reinvest a lot. Like we've never took anything out of this business yet. We've reinvested everything.
That's awesome.
All of it's going back into it. Yeah. A lot of work, but it all pays off.
It's good that y'all do that, because in a sense, like I was like, man, this thing is perfect. Like, what else do you want to do? But if you keep doing the same shit that from 5 years ago, your business is going to be going out of business. You know what I mean? You got to constantly changing and making it better.
We always say we want to put ourselves out of business.
That's what I say.
He says it constantly.
Try to put yourself out of business. What would you do to put yourself out of business? You need to do that, because if you compete against yourself in that way, then you're always stepping up.
Yes, so
stepping up.
Yeah, when we walk on the land, there's so many thoughts that I want to upgrade and do and add. And me and him, when we walk on here, and it's so hard to just sit here and be like, gosh, it's so beautiful, because I'm constantly looking at like, this is our next project, and giving him 1,000,000 honeydews, because we have thoughts together, and I'm kind of like the design, and he does design, but it all comes down to him actually.
It's the
pulling the trigger.
It's the good business mindset, though. You're always growing and evolving. You know what I mean? Once you get complacent and comfortable, then you're like,
it's just
you don't care anymore.
Relating it back to working out, because a lot of analogies could come out of working out, like tons of them. But if you get to a perfect body where you're very satisfied with it, you don't just stop, right? You have to continuously do it. And it's the same thing with business. You got to continuously put into it. So it was difficult to get to that ideal body, or the ideal business. Like, yes, we're happy. We're excited about the business, but we constantly have to put work in. Like rinse, do.
You have to keep pushing.
And I'm sure, like,
that keeps you on top of your game.
Yeah, and I know sometimes, like, it's hard to appreciate. But in another way, like, whenever you drive up to this, you got to be like, shit, that's my shit. We did that. You know what I mean?
I sit back and I force myself. I practice gratitude with it.
But we have to really sit there and like,
take the moment to do it, make the conscious effort.
We need to be grateful for all of this, which we totally are. But when we come here, we want it to be perfect for everybody else. So we see those things that we need to fix and make better, or the plans and everything. We see a bigger picture for the future instead of what's now, which is not bad for, owning a business. You always want to see progress in your head. So we constantly talk about that, but.
So what's new that's going to be here at the venue for people, or is that something you don't?
Okay, so the biggest, I could talk about one. The biggest thing, it is really, we have cabins, but the hardest thing is now is we're booked so much that we only have like 3 weekends in July that we don't have bookings. So
2024?
yeah.
It's kind of the only time frame you actually.
Yeah,
So
the
it's hard
end of
even
23 to 24.
You don't want to have construction during weddings. So
Yeah.
if a project can't be done.
Yeah, so we're gonna do some orchards with like some greenery growing up, and I really, let me look at Brad. I really, really want
Love that. Let me look at that.
an outdoor fireplace eventually, you know, something cool in case they want to get married in front of. We have so many ideas of different areas on the land. We want to make it where when you come on the land, it's not like you're in Houma. The mall is like right there.
It's already like that.
Yeah.
Whenever I drove in, I was like, holy crap, this is
Definitely want it
nice.
to be an experience more than just a building, you know, that you get married at. Just experience the pond, fish in it.
Yeah.
Whenever I drove in, I seen the tiny houses. I was like, dude, what is he doing with this? What's going on here? You
That'll
know?
be our latest,
I was like, this is
release.
cool.
Yeah, so we have 5 cabins, so they'll be able to sleep and spend the night. We're eventually going to do 10 to 15. So it's like a hotel, but it's all ranchy style. It's really cool. Like
It's right on the other side of the property. You don't have to drive.
drinking and
nice-
driving is not a thing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place to bring families together like that, man. I think this is probably like the best wedding venue I've ever been to in my whole life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
True story.
We tried.
I've been to like 3 or 4 big ones, you know what I mean? I think this is by far the best one.
Thank you so
truly.
much.
Love to hear it.
Yes.
Like, I swear, I'm not even just saying that because you're on my podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, 100% legit.
Great feedback it keeps us going.
It
even more.
validates
Yeah.
all the work that was put in for
Because
sure.
you put in so much, and then when you're hearing good things, it's like,
I'm sure y'all constantly hearing good things. I'm sure, sometimes you'll get those people that are ungrateful, of course, you know what I mean? But for the most part, like whenever they come to see the place, they're like, oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
It's 99.9% positive usually.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Brad doesn't get to hear it as much because
Yeah, she
I
does it
do.
over.
I do the tours. Like I do a lot of tours at one time, and sometimes talking for that long, I'm like, gosh. When I go home, he's like, tell me everything about it. What did they say? And I'm like, I really
I wanna hear
don't
the feed-
want to talk.
I want to hear the
right
feedback from people.
So I feel bad because he doesn't get it firsthand like I do. You know, like I get to smile and I'm like, yes, and I give him so much credit, you know, throughout the tours because he does so much, but he doesn't get to hear it, and then I'm like exhausted. I don't want
loved
to
it.
talk. They loved it. It was awesome. You know, like if
That's
he
it.
wants like those like
Like what they
Details.
loved
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
so
That's
he doesn't
understandable.
get to, so he needs a few more Mo. No. Just kidding.
I get it
That's
though,
cool.
because like some things that like he put a lot of work into.
Yeah.
It's like, man, did they notice this? Did they?
Yeah,
You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
the kind
Like,
of thing. What did he notice?
Yeah.
He wants the
Did they, like-
details
Yeah.
on it, and I'm like, no.
Did they make any comments about the groom suite? Some feedback, you know, I like that. So
what's some advice you guys would give like a new entrepreneur, maybe wanting to get into real estate investments?
definitely the numbers got to work. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people like the idea of owning real estate or rental properties because they could quit their job or whatever. That it takes a lot more effort than just buying a property. You have to make sure it's going to actually work, and not in the best case scenario. You have to, in my opinion, you have to think about it in kind of a mediocre economy where your rents might be a little lower, insurance might go up, eventually taxes might go up. So you want to be conservative with purchasing to where you're making money or breaking even at least.
Yeah.
When the economy ebbs and flows, and you want to, that way when it's good, you're making great cash flow. Your tenants are paying for your property. But if it breaks even, it depends on if you want a cash flow or if you want to actually hold for equity or whatever. I mean, if you buy a lot more expensive properties, your property tends to not cash flow as much as if you buy, lower income, because you could rent it for more and your return's a little better, but you don't have the equity standpoint to where you're gaining all that equity, over time. So
Gotcha. So what are your thoughts on like a duplex? Somebody buying like their first property as a duplex?
definitely a good idea.
Live
So
in
you
one
buy
side.
it and live in it. You live in one side, let the let the other tenant pay for majority. If you buy it out, everything goes back to buying, right? You can't buy a property that's worth this much and you're losing money every month. That's definitely a good hack to get into it.
What's it like a?
Because actually, if it's owner occupied, you could homestead exemption, and you could qualify for FHAs and loans and
Lower
VA
interest
loans,
rates.
stuff like that. Conventional loans to where you're not going commercial loans with higher rates.
Yep.
It's definitely one of the good ways to get in.
Then you're saving money.
Yeah.
You're not having to pay rent. They're
Yeah.
paying your
Absolutely, they're paying the
they're
whole
paying
note.
your note. That's the biggest thing about rental property. It's not, even if you make a little bit that month, they're paying the house off. They're paying
Yeah,
the
they're
rental
paying
off.
for that asset.
So they're paying for it, and then at the end, we don't like to sell anything. He likes to keep it all. He wants generational wealth. But at the end, if you do want to sell it, you're making all that money back, plus they pay for it. So it's like a double win.
Yeah.
But you have to be good at it. Like, you have to fix things.
Kind of-
You have to make sure you're very responsive to your tenants, which he's great at. I don't do that side much. I'm more of the venue and, the gym. But he's so responsive that the tenants love him because he's gonna get it fixed. He's gonna do this, I think the other day he was like, I have to leave, are you coming in the house sooner? Because the hot water heater broke. So he was running out like 8 something to fix somebody's hot water heater. He makes sure that things are getting fixed. And that's the biggest thing, is not letting your rental just completely get run down, because then you're not gonna have anything when you wanna sell it, or you wanna move on, or your tenants are not gonna pay that money. So definitely reinvesting in it.
It's definitely a big thing in my life in general, not only taking care of tenants quickly, is because another problem's always going to come, especially when you have a lot of things going on. That's one of my biggest things, is not letting things
Stack up.
because
stress
it's just
factor.
another one. You might want to put it
That's
off.
smart.
I don't want to worry about it now, but you need to take care of it immediately, because there's another problem coming. Whether it's here or not, later, or it's coming right after it, it's going to come. And then you get overwhelmed.
Me personally, I think that's another hack of yours that helps you to be successful. Is
Definitely.
do
I
it
talk
now.
about it a lot.
Do it now. Don't wait till
Yes.
later tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it
Yep.
now. You know what I mean?
Take care of those things. It's almost like a notification bar. You got all these. Even in that little aspect of my life, I don't let anything in my notification bar. I take care of everything.
Not at
Really?
all.
Yes.
I am not like that,
If
okay?
people are messaging me, I handle it right away. I answer
Yes.
them. If I have people messaging about a rental, like when I post a rental on Facebook Market, for instance, I'll get there's so much high demand for rentals, especially after the hurricane, all these people lost houses
Yes.
and stuff. But I'll get 100 messages in one day, and I'll answer every one of them right away, no matter what I'm doing. I'll be cutting grass, I'll answer while I'm cutting grass, because
In
I
the
know
middle of
if I wait until after I cut grass, I'll have 100 messages. That's overwhelming to answer.
Right.
I need to get it done.
At that point, you're like, I'm not answering none of these.
That's on top of everything else that might come up. So.
Yeah, he's great. He says he puts out fires all the time, and that is really what he does. I am not as much like that, and I strive to be better like him, because, that's just hard to keep up with all the time. Especially, I strive to keep Corbin alive, He's jumping off of cabinets. He's really wild. So sometimes my phone will sit and I don't even know where it is, because if I'm answering or on the phone with somebody, my house is getting destroyed. It's a lot
Keeps you
different.
busy.
Yeah, it's a lot different running 2 businesses, and he just turned 3. So he's a wild man. It'll get easier. So my life has changed since having a baby, and running these businesses, trying to do it all. But he's great at that, and he keeps me, you have to make sure you're answering this stuff, but
She gets a little mad sometimes.
I do get mad at him, because I'm
Because he's
like,
responsive?
"What?" Yes,
Make it wait.
he's a machine, okay?
I
He is
absolutely- I would agree.
he always says, you're better than most, and I'm like, I'm just better than most, but he is
a
on
good
a
way.
different, I know. He is on a different level, and I try to make sure that when I'm in the gym, some people are like, okay, just get off your phone. You need to work out. But I try to make sure I book 3 to 5 birthday parties every time in the gym, every morning.
Really?
Yes, I book birthday parties in the gym. I feel like it's a good day when I leave, and I did 5 bookings.
Because you have a babysitter
Absolutely.
for Corbin.
I have a babysitter. Corbin is in
true.
daycare. So I
cool.
answered, right? I answer my messages in the gym, and then I answer my message again right before I walk into work around 3 o'clock, and then throughout, being in gym life.
If you put things off, You might accidentally swipe out, and then you forget to get back with them and stuff like that.
That
So I don't want to have
happens to me all the time.
I don't like
I'm
that.
guilty.
So it's just a personality trait I have.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
It keeps the stress level a lot lower.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry
Definitely.
about.
Yeah.
It mitigates stress a lot
He
more.
tells me that all the time. Like from me leaving the workout gym to going to the cheer gym, you know how many messages I get in that little amount of time? So when I'm walking in
Like
to
10
work,
messages,
I'm
like-
like, gosh, I have 20 messages, and then I'm having to like hurry up before the kids are coming in. So I mean, maybe once Corbin goes back to school, I'll get better at it, you know. We shall see.
So Candace, how do you keep up with everything as far as the venue and cheer? Like, this seems like a lot,
It is a
especially knowing
lot.
that you're booked, you
Yeah,
know,
that
with
much.
the venue and
We have
the
great
school
help. So like we have a
dance.
manager here that does great, and I have girls there that, you know, they're good. But we oversee everything. I think the biggest thing is just keeping on going. Everybody's like, how do you add that much on your plate? I don't think about it. Like, I have to get this done. We're just gonna make it happen. You just add it. You just keep going. My biggest thing is writing things down and scratching it off, because I feel like I'm doing better and I'm accomplishing things. I'll even do something that's not on my list and I write it on there just to scratch it off, because it makes me feel better.
that's good.
yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, I mean, just staying positive about all the things you have to do. You can't let it just drown you. Like, I have to do this. I have to do. You can't just keep that list. Make
Yeah.
sure you're scratching it off, and that's what kind of gets
Marking.
me through the day.
And that's so true, because it
Yeah.
helps to build momentum, and you know you.
And it's not just
Yeah.
one line. I scratch it off. Yeah.
People realize how much
Dude.
time they waste in a day. They would
Yeah.
be able to figure out why some people, high performance people, actually have time, because they make time, and it's they're just very efficient at time. I think if you're very efficient at what you're doing, like time management, I think you get a lot more done. Than it does help that, I mean, if you have a 9-to-5 job and then you're trying to do your side hustle after, that's, instead of watching TV, you work on, you know, getting out of your 9-to-5. It's,
Yeah.
some people do it, some people don't, and they wonder what's going on.
Yeah, that's the people that's always just gonna hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my agenda it says don't be busy, be productive.
I believe that you shouldn't strive for happiness. What you strive for is, will this make me proud of myself? So like if you're striving for happiness, I feel like if you get let down a lot. So
Because what is happiness?
you look for like short-term solutions to happiness, like to start drinking or you start doing drugs, and that's detrimental to your happiness, really. But in the short term, you feel good or whatever. But if you think about, if you make a decision that's based on, will this make me proud in the end, in the long term,
Keeps you
it'll
going.
make you happy.
Then I love that. That's the good way to look at things. Like, make yourself proud. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Will this make me proud?
Man, the
When
more
we
and
Being
more
wanna
you
do
do
proud of
that,
something,
the more and more
it's
you
gonna
do
make you
that.
happy.
Oh man.
It helps out a lot because we don't have any downtime. And sometimes I get so completely like, I want to have fun.
They have a lot of studies that
yeah,
prove that progress is happiness.
it is.
Like when people feel
Makes
progress
sense.
in their life, then they'll feel happier on average.
But like, I swear, like I knew that this was gonna help me in so many ways
Oh.
too. You know what I mean? Because just that little piece is be proud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be proud of yourself, kind
It's
of.
good
you know?
to talk to people like this too, because if you surround yourself with people that are going to uplift you, it's gonna make you
That's-
be a better you. 'Cause
That's so true.
You want to listen, and you're excited for them, so it's just gonna
It's
make
very
you have
cliche,
progress.
but yeah, the birds of a feather flock together.
Oh, that's so true, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're surrounded by people that are more successful than you, you're going to be uncomfortable and you're going to feel out of place maybe. But if you continue to be around them, you'll become one of them.
Yeah.
In any aspect of what you're trying to do. I mean, if you want to be better at golf, you hang around a bunch of professional golfers, you're going to get better. Just being around them, being in their presence will make you more knowledgeable and make you better at golf.
That's so true. Did you have anybody that kind of mentored you a little bit as far as the real estate stuff? You hired a coach or anything?
My grandpa was very inspiring when I was young. He would talk to me like this, like when I was a kid. So like, it was,
He's a really cool
That's
guy.
awesome.
He's really-
I never got to meet him,
Yeah.
but like he has done lots of things in his life.
he passed away in 2015, but it took a lot of like my worldview, like the way I see things, it taken from him, I think, and it has a lot to do with it.
Very wise man.
I give him
yes.
a lot of credit. Yeah.
Well, he had real estate property, he had rental property, and he had real estate in different states.
That's nice.
Back in the day, and then he wrote books.
Yeah, he's published author of a couple of books. He was a Troop C, Troop Commander. He's very
versatile.
He was get out there and get stuff. Like he was a very motivated person to
go getter. He did a lot.
What was his book about? What did he write a book about?
He wrote a book about like Cajun Tales of Louisiana Bayou. It's like tales of like Cajun. Wrote several books. I can't think of them offhand, but like.
You ever thought about writing a book?
He should.
Because I remember.
I think he should.
I'm pretty decent at writing.
He's a great writer. Not even decent. He's not giving himself credit right now.
I remember y'all talking about how like you like a lot of your thoughts,
Yep.
I could articulate my thoughts a lot better writing than talking. I don't know. Maybe one day when I get a little more time.
That's never gonna happen. You just gotta add it to your list.
Just don't sleep.
That's true. That is so true.
Never a perfect time to start.
Well, a lot of people write books when they're older.
So, Brad, what's some inspirational stuff you want to share with the audience? Something you think that keep them going or get them from A to B?
The main thing I think is really important is self-accountability. I think it's one of the most important things in succeeding in anything is just being accountable. Like everything is my fault, kind of in a broad sense. Like I put myself in that position, or the wins, the losses, everything. That way you know that you're in control of your life. Like you can't blame other people. Because if you're always blaming others or blaming other things, then you're basically giving that thing or that person control over your mind or yourself or your decisions or your outcomes. So self-accountability, like extreme self-accountability is really important, I think.
I think staying positive.
Yeah.
Nothing grows in negative. I tell my girls that all the time.
That is so true.
If you're negative, you're not getting through to I can't get through to you. I can't coach you. We can't move on. Mm-hmm. Turn to positive and I can do this.
Yeah, mindset.
Your mindset, big time. What mindset you have is going to set your day.
That is
either good or bad.
Oh my goodness.
Stay positive.
And the biggest thing is your outcome of your life isn't based on like the things that happen to you. It's the response to the things that happen to you. Like if you could
how
have
you
a good
react.
mindset, how you react, the decisions would happen to you. It could change the whole course of your life, business and in personal life.
It's so crazy because I think a lot of people suffer because they're responding to what happened to them. You know what I mean? Instead of
a superhero and a villain. You ever heard that? The only difference is how they responded. They both have tragedies. I mean, Batman's parents died. He became Batman. The villain went through a trauma, but he became evil. Like he wanted to hurt others because of it. One wanted to help others because of it. Two of the same situations with two different outcomes.
Makes perfect sense.
So. What you take out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so true because two people could be in the same house, same parents, super successful, and the other one would be just a...
You watched that Arnold documentary that came out recently. He talked about that.
Really?
Hit a chord. His brother,
really good,
I think, committed suicide. They were brought up the exact same way. And Arnold went to success through everything. He had a totally different
He said
mind.
how his dad built him up, but tore the other one down.
He said what made him successful is what killed his brother. It's the same thing, but pushed him, motivated him, made him who he is, wanted to succeed at every single thing. And his brother just destroyed him to where he wanted to take his own life. So
he said, "Be useful." That was the quote.
Useful.
Be useful. Wake
and
up
it's all in your mind.
Be useful.
Yeah,
it's your mindset.
Dude, that is.
I wrote that down a few times. Be useful.
Be useful.
It's so simple, but so.
Sometimes the simple things.
I think that's what it's all. It really is simple. It's just we humans like to complicate things. You know?
Big time.
Well, thank you guys for being on the show. I really, really appreciate it. You guys.
This was a lot of fun.
I loved it.
Hopefully you gave some value.
And this was like the best place to do it.
Yeah.
Like truly, like.
Thank you.
I love the whole energy here.